My name is Julianna, and I have ADHD, fibromyalgia, generalized and social anxiety, and depression. I guess this is my story. I think I was 15 or 16 when I first started to feel depressed. For anxiety, I've always been a nervous person. Making friends didn't come easy to me.
We're back with Backstage Pass. I'm Julianna, and who are you guys and where are you from?
My name is Lethal, Profit.
I have rejection sensitivity dysphoria. And social rejection is the thing I'm most afraid of. So I remembered something that I was told as a child. And I found something deep inside me. And I pooped the hot tub. Thank you. I always thought I was just kind of a nervous person and had a lot of fears. But both depression and anxiety got at its worst when I got sick. I'll be 32 in a couple months. And my physical health symptoms started when I was about 18. 14 years of being unwell, I guess. There have been studies that show a link between gut health and mental and neurological health, as well as gut health and the immune system. So not only do I have depression, anxiety, ADHD, RSD, I also have fibromyalgia. And I seem to get fatigue more than I do like overall pain. And when I get fatigue, I get brain fog. And I don't know if it's the brain fog or the fatigue or maybe both of it together, but when I feel really fatigued and my brain's all foggy and I can barely like think straight, my mood also feels very low. It's not just like feeling down, I also feel easily frustrated, and I hate that. I think more than the fatigue and the brain fog is how it affects my mood, so that's probably a bigger contributing factor to why I put so much emphasis on like diet and supplements and gut health, because I hate feeling that low feeling where nothing matters. Well, it's not that low, but it's like my brain's moving too slowly to be excited. I don't know, but it's very frustrating. But y'all bad. When I was 23, I suddenly couldn't tolerate heat. I couldn't tolerate warmth. I couldn't tolerate room temperature. So I stayed in my bedroom where I could keep it cool, kind of cold. And it was like that for 5 years. I spent 5 years by myself. I would go days barely talking at all, barely talking out loud. Maybe sending a text message, mostly talking to people online who are also lonely. I had a cancer scare when I was 24, and I felt like my health was deteriorating throughout that entire 5-year period, but the worst part about it was the isolation and the loneliness, for sure. Humans were pack animals. We're social by nature. That's how we got by for as long as we've been alive, by depending on other people. There have been studies that have shown what just social isolation can do to the brain, and then how that can affect a person physically. For 5 years, I couldn't work. I went from being really fit and working hard to doing nothing. Feeling like I was just existing. So, it should be understandable that my mental health took a pretty hard hit, but the fact that there's a stigma against mental health, I think, made it worse. I didn't feel like I could comfortably talk about how I was feeling, and if someone mentioned it, people would say, just be more positive. As though my depression was caused solely by negativity. So that made me not want to talk about it with anyone until I saw a therapist, which, as cliche as it sounds, changed my life. I didn't have an easy childhood. My mom went to residential school. My great-grandma went to a residential school. I come from generational trauma. I was sexually abused as a child, and I didn't tell anyone. I didn't say it out loud for 20 years. So I was ashamed. I didn't let myself think about it. And then one day I went to see a therapist and I just blurted it all out. And then I told my mom. And I wrote down my feelings and I burned that paper, and it was therapeutic. With therapy, I was able to get to a place where I wasn't angry. I definitely wasn't ashamed. But I felt bad for the other guy because he was just a kid too. soon as you come out here onto this land and you hear the sound of the water and the birds, this like sense of calm just washes over you and all the stress goes away. It's kind of amazing. Why did we ever leave this life, you know? You know, in that time of isolation, it was the hardest thing that I'd ever been through. And even though I dealt with suicidal ideation, I mean, some good came of it. I learned how to open up.
Super nervous, by the way. I don't know if you can tell. So the Oscars are coming up, which means a bunch of celebrities are going to get together and just use the word humbled.
People assume that because I'm a girl, I must be comfortable with talking about things that are personal and private, but I grew up with older brothers, and anytime I tried to show, well, not that I tried to, anytime that I did show emotion, they told me to stop being a baby and to toughen up. So I began to equate emotions with weakness. I can understand to a degree how, men in society feel. But, I think the biggest difference is that people expect men to not feel complex emotions, and they expect women to feel complex emotions and to express them, and I just couldn't do that until I was in my 20s and I had to learn how to do it. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't see a therapist, if I didn't reach out. My own depression nearly killed me. I know that for a fact.
We're here because we want to help the people and the earth to heal with the vibrations that we're going to put out in this universe. For this song to the ancestors and to those who are leaving this world because of what's happening. So we want them to have a good journey home. And so that's part of our intention, and to take care of each other and ask the ancestors for protection, so that everybody is safe and strong. And we also have our intention for us to have a place to belong and to use our gifts. And so we sing our song with all those intentions. And
you get to a place when you're really deep in it where you either don't feel anything, just completely numb, or all you feel is sadness. And, because at the time, I didn't know what was going on with me health-wise, and I didn't know if I'd ever be able to have a normal life again.
Hi, I'm Julianna McGraw, and I want my own TV show. Just kidding. Hi, I'm Julianna McGraw, and I want to find certain stories. Stories of people who live in Canada and this is gonna be one take.
I felt useless because I couldn't work. I felt hopeless because I saw so many doctors and specialists, and most of the tests came back normal. I mean, to feel like you're dying and for doctors to not know what's going on and imply that maybe it's just anxiety, rather than thinking that maybe anxiety is a symptom of what else is going on. Wheat and dairy themselves and gluten both definitely play a factor in my mental health. I can absolutely feel a difference in anxiety if I have something with dairy. I just feel like this nervous tension kind of all over my body and very anxious. If something goes the least bit wrong, I spiral. It's fascinating and very frustrating. I can't think about that time without remembering how it felt. Tearing up a bit. Depression is kind of like opening a gate. Once you get to a certain low point, it's easier to get to that low point again. Depression runs on both sides of my family, my mom's side and to my dad's side. And there's no escaping it. I can't run away from my own DNA. When I think about everything that's going on with me, I feel like there's just so much wrong with me. I know it's not like me, it's not my personality or anything. A lot of it's neurological and physical and things that I can't control. There are many times when I want to just be able to talk about how I'm feeling or what I'm going through openly. But then it's seen as just a negative mindset because of stigma against mental health. I mean, depression and anxiety is higher among millennials and Gen Z than any other generation. And I still feel like everyone's expected to just ignore it. Why can't we just talk about it? Why can't I just say, I'm feeling sad today? I can't go out and just leave it at that. I get so tired of trying to explain myself. I don't know why I feel down sometimes. It's like I'd have to study neuroscience to fully understand it. It's an imbalance of brain chemicals. I mean, depression and anxiety and ADHD. There's no cure for depression or anxiety, but there are treatments. This is what I'm doing to treat myself physically and mentally and neurologically. And I have a lot more good days than I do bad days now, So as long as I have a lot more good days than bad days, and as long as I do feel a difference, because I do, then I'm going to keep doing this. I don't know how many people mental health indirectly kills each year, but I know it's too much. A lot of people self-medicate. My mom self-medicated for a long time. I'm talking about alcohol, of course. Fortunately, I was never that big a drinker. Otherwise, I might have started self-medicating too. I just want society to get to a place where a person can talk about their mental health without being told that they're sensitive. I get this worry that being on camera and talking about my mental health and just supplements, and that I'm not trying to appear excited and happy, that it's boring. And also, when I'm talking about my mental health, I feel very vulnerable, especially when I film myself talking about depression while feeling depressed. I feel very nervous about putting that in here, but that's what this is about. I don't know if that's too much. I have hope. I'm surprisingly optimistic in that regard, but I don't know. Just know that I'm tired of feeling alone, knowing that I'm not.